So today we'll be going over the making of Merlinda's animated gacha model. The final model that you can see right now is working as a 3D model, so you can import it in a lot of softwares. It will react to the lighting and will be compatible with animations other people do, such as MMD dances, etc. This is not a tutorial, but just a workthrough. If you have a bit of knowledge in Blender, you should be able to see the logic, and also all the stupid things I do since I crashed my way through it. Once you've finished designing your character, you can screenshot it into your drawing app. I use Clip Paint Studio. Normally separate the body with the head, then the arms and legs like if you were tuning in a video editor. In this case, I did the iris, eyelash, white of the eye, and also did different versions of the hair and body for the back. You are not obliged to do that. If you only want to use your model in the front, it's a lot easier like that. I then go to my Blender app, which is a free 3D program, and use an add-on called K2IM, image to mesh basically. There are ways to do it without this add-on, but it takes a lot more time, and since it only costs €2, it's quite worthwhile. I import all the PNG files with the add-on since it adds verticals and cuts around the forms for me. Follow my settings for the best results. You basically want to have the minimum of edges and a lot of verticals near them. The next important step is to add a solidify modifier. This will ensure your model has a 3D aspect. Otherwise, when your camera or your model turns slightly, it will disappear since it just exists in 2D. By using the thickness clamp, you can make the edge rounder so it's more natural, or leave it as is for a cubic effect. What counts is that your image gains a 3D form and can exist through all angles. I then import the other side, and with the solidify modifier, put the inverse of the offset and keep the same thickness clamp. If you are not as lazy as me, you should get a better result. But the good thing is, we can now rotate around the model. Next, you import the legs and arms or other body part that will constitute the main body. Move their position until it's suitable, and you get the same layers that you had in your drawing app. You then import all the other elements by changing the import settings to reduced, since you don't need them to be as heavy. With the eyes, brows, and mouth, you select more edge with expand borders. I normally put 5 for those elements. When you have everything imported, you will then hit with the H key all the non-main body part to start the rigging process. If at some point you get black edges around what's not drawn in, don't worry, it will be put to transparent later on. You will want to use the VRM armature that comes with the VRM add-on link in the description. Now I start on the rigging process. Nothing really changes from rigging other models. You can skip to the next part. My only advice is removing bones that are not needed before automatically weight painting. In the case of Gacha characters, after correctly placing each bones, I rotate the wrist bone. And then I delete either all the finger bones or leave just the index and thumb. Place it as such. Plus, delete the eye bones. In this part, I will show you how I add different emotions. Keep in mind there are different ways to do this. The first technique is to have pictures of the different mouth movements and emotions that you want to show. I took pictures of different mouth position to spell A-I-O-U-E, which are the main forms when face tracking. After importing them, you place them accordingly on your model. Then you weight paint to the head bone so it follows the head movement. You can basically import anything and make it into a toggle. You can also import the eyes as pictures if you want to make life easy. You then find a blink surprised and crying eyes. And you could stop at this stage. Later on, we will specify when those different pictures appear and disappear, so just hide them when you're working. The next is editing like you would in LIVE2D. You can skip it if you have your base expressions and an eye set. Once you have all your PNG there, join all the things together with the J key. You could have an issue where everything turns black. In that case, check if the UV map is the same, if not, modify it. Then with the mesh together, start creating blend shapes. You can follow what I do as an example. Then separate by materials and hide what you don't need to edit. After editing, this is what my blend shapes look like. Adding one where the eyes are hidden behind the head is useful for when you want other eyes in the front. You then join and unhide everything to export the model as a VRM. In the next step, we will be using Unity. You can also do this with the VRM add-on in Blender, but I'm not good at it. Unity is better because you can see how the lighting and physics are. Anyway, I'm currently using Unity 2019.4 with the plugin UniVRM 0.110, but you can use the new versions, I just haven't bothered upgrading. Unity seems frightening, but for this kind of thing it's not. I'll leave an easy install tutorial below. In Unity, I create a new folder where I drag my VRM file. It takes a bit of time to load. Drag your model into the left square to see it in the viewer. Go to the Material folder, select Shift-All and change the shader to VRM. Change the mode from opaque to cutout. This will give back its appearance to your model. For the things you want to make invisible, go to the color wheel and put the A, alpha to 0. Ta-da! And the black lines I mentioned should have also disappeared now. Go to the Blend Shape folder and select Blend Shape. This is where we will create the expressions. Click on the expressions and move the sliders that correspond if you have them. To make the pictures reappear, go to Material List and try to find the name of your picture. The first option named Color and put back the alpha to 100 and color to white. Then you proceed like this with all the different expressions. You can create new expressions by clicking on Create Blend Shape Clip, then name it and continue adjusting everything. Then we export using the VRM0 plugin on top. Select Export to VRM0. Fill out the name and the informations of the model if you want to share it. Click Export and then to any folder you want. You can then test it out in VRM facetracking software. The easiest to start with is Vseeface or VRM posing. Test out that blinking is smooth and your expressions are working with the keypad numbers. There are many more cool settings such as physics and making things look better. but I believe that's already enough. To give an overview if anyone wants to try,